And now, BX Forever presents another RPG deep dive.
Welcome to another episode of BX Forever.
All right, so we are diving deep into Norwold today.
Norwold, huh?
Yeah, and we've got maps, we've got like character descriptions, even some adventure scenarios.
Sounds like we're about ready to play.
It really does. It's like cracking open a classic tabletop RPG and just jumping right in.
It is sort of like that, and in this deep dive, it's not just learning about this world, it's about like you being in this world.
Yeah, making decisions.
That's right.
Facing challenges.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you, this world, Norwold, it is a wild place.
Oh, I bet.
We're talking towering mountains. I mean, some of these peaks are over 24,000 feet high.
Whoa.
There are these dense forests, icy tundras, even a whirlpool that acts as like a portal to another dimension.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So just breathtaking landscapes then.
Breathtaking and a little bit tense politically.
Oh.
Yeah, so you have Alphatia and Thyatis, two empires that are kind of vying for control.
Classic.
Right, so Alphatia, they're all about ancient magic, and then Thyatis, they're more militaristic. And you come into this picture as like a powerful figure, and you've been invited to Norwold by King Erical himself.
Invited.
Yeah, he's dividing up the land into dominions,
Okay.
and he needs people to govern them.
That's where you come in.
Exactly. So do you pick an established area, civilized?
Safe.
Yeah, but maybe less room to grow, or do you go into the wilderness and you risk everything
I like that.
for greater rewards?
Yeah, tough choices right off the bat.
Totally. And then you've got these big personalities you got to deal with, like King Erical,
What's he like?
young, idealistic,
Okay.
maybe a little naive, but,
A little naive.
how's that going to work in Norwold?
Yeah, I mean, good intentions, but maybe susceptible to manipulation.
Especially when you've got his half-brother in the mix,
Oh no, who's that?
Lernal the Swill.
Lernal the Swill. Okay.
He rules this pirate haven called Landfall, so I don't think those family dinners are going too well.
Yeah, yikes.
Yeah, and then you got King Yarvik of Oceansend.
Okay.
Wise, just ruler. He's a little hesitant to align with King Erical.
Oh, that's interesting.
Could be an ally or a rival, who knows?
Yeah, he's a wild card.
Totally. And then there are a few other players like Lackduel. He's a magic user with a mysterious agenda.
Magic user, always got to watch out for those.
Right. And he's backed by Thyatis. Then there's Elisa Patrician, this really skilled warrior.
Interesting.
Seems like she's looking for some challenges, maybe a title to go with it.
All right, so we've got all these major players all vying for power.
Yeah, but it's not just them. It's the dangers lurking in the wilderness.
Oh, what kind of dangers?
Let's just say. Not for the faint of heart.
Okay.
We're talking about the ruins of Alinor. It's a sunken city guarded by crazy creatures.
Flumpkin City.
Yeah, they say it holds ancient magical artifacts.
Oh, wow.
Do you dare to go in?
Big risk.
And then there's the Dungeon of Quile.
Classic.
Multi-level, filled with monsters, you name it, trolls, fire giants,
Ooh.
even a beholder
Yeah.
and a red dragon. Would you assemble a party and go into the depths?
That's a tough one.
And if those don't scare you enough, there's the Crones of Christic.
Ooh.
These are three ancient, powerful clerics. Each one represents a different aspect of morality.
Okay.
They know Norwold's past, present, and future. You might need their help.
I bet.
But at what cost? Who knows?
Yeah, there's always a cost.
Right, so we've got this land, political intrigue, dangerous wilderness, and powerful figures all vying for power.
And you're right in the thick of it.
Exactly, trying to establish my dominion, trying to forge my own path.
Not an easy feat.
But it's about to get a whole lot harder.
Uh-oh. Why?
Because Thyatis is about to invade.
No way.
Yeah, full-on invasion.
Oh, wow.
Betrayal within King Erical's court. You know that peaceful spring festival you were looking forward to?
Yeah.
Forget about it.
It's all out war now.
You got to choose a side.
Oh, so no staying neutral?
Nope, Alphatia or Thyatis.
That's a big decision.
It is. The fate of Norwold, and everything you've built, it hangs in the balance.
No pressure.
Okay, so full-blown war. Huh, what's that going to look like?
Well, the Alphatian forces are largely made up of King Erical's royal army, supplemented by the Queen's Guard, local militias, forces from any dominions that stay loyal.
Makes sense.
There are some notable groups like the Regent Pass Garrison,
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
known for their defense, and then the troops under Sir Ernest Day, known for their tactics.
So pretty standard medieval army. I'm
Yeah.
guessing swords and shields and all that.
Yeah, on the surface, but they're fighting for their home, their way of life.
Hmm.
That's a big motivator.
Can't argue with that. And what about Thyatis? What makes them so tough?
Their forces are a bit more diverse. You've got the main invasion force, well-equipped and disciplined, led by Emperor Thinkle himself.
Oh yeah, Thinkle, ruthless guy.
That's him known for his strategy, too. And then you've got contingents like those led by Alakdul.
Alakdul. So he did go with Thyatis.
He did composed of orcs, bugbears, trolls, real brute force approach.
Yeah, that's going to cause some chaos.
And then there's Longtooth's Legion, a bunch of thieves and saboteurs, disrupting supply lines, spreading dissent.
So it's not just a war between armies then?
No, it's ideologies, loyalties, the whole thing.
Oh man, and I forgot Thyatis has a navy too, right?
Right, hundreds of ships strong, big threat to Alpha.
Alpha, Erakel's capital.
Right on the coast, vulnerable.
So we got to defend that.
If Alpha falls, that could be it for Erakel. Thyatis takes over.
So many things to think about. Protect my dominion, defend Alpha, maybe get some of those neutral factions on our side.
It's a lot.
Big strategic puzzle. And then there's the landscape itself. Mountains, forests, plains, tundras. Got to factor that in.
Definitely use it to your advantage. Ambushes, flanking maneuvers.
Mountains as barriers.
Exactly. And don't forget those potential allies we talked about, the dwarves of Stormhaven.
Strong, great forgers.
And the barbarians of the Red Banner. Fierce fighters.
They could turn the tide.
They could. And then those scenarios we were talking about, imagine coming across the ruins of Alinor while you're chasing Thyacian raiders. Or having to deal with the crones of Christic while the enemy is at your doorstep.
Crazy possibilities.
This whole war is going to be epic, but before we get to all that, there's one big event that brings everyone together.
Oh yeah, King Erakel's wedding.
The royal wedding's supposed to be a joyous occasion, right?
A moment of peace before the storm.
But this is Norwold. Things never go as planned.
I was just thinking that I bet Lernald the Swill is going to cause problems.
You bet he's jealous of his half-brother, and it all comes to a head during the pre-wedding festivities.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Let's just say things get awkward, and of course, Thyacian agents are everywhere trying to stir up trouble.
Espionage, sabotage, family drama. Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It is. One scenario even has the bride-to-be Christina sneaking out with some friends for a night on the town.
Oh, she wants to experience Norwold like a commoner.
Yeah, but she gets targeted by kidnappers who know who she really is.
No way.
Yeah, big chase through the city, tests everyone's skills and loyalty.
So even the wedding is an adventure.
And then, during one of the big banquets, these 4 mysterious figures in black armor show up.
Oh no.
They challenge the king's knights to a duel.
What?
They question the bride's worthiness, total disrespect to Erakel.
Oh man, those knights are going to be furious.
It's classic chivalry, showing off combat skills, but it shows how far Erakel's enemies will go to mess with him.
So even the good times in Norwold are dangerous. But back to the war itself. What are we going to have to think about once the fighting starts?
Well, as we get into the War of the Crown, we have to think about what victory or defeat means for you in Norwold.
Yeah, because the consequences could be huge.
Exactly. It's not just picking a side, it's knowing what you're fighting for and what happens after the fighting's done.
Good point. And the source material gives us some ideas about those outcomes, and they're pretty interesting. All right, so let's say Alphatia wins. What happens to the people who fought for them?
Well, Erakel's known for being generous. Those who are loyal to him, they'll probably be rewarded.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
What kind of rewards are we talking?
Dominion rulers might get more land, maybe some fancy titles, even some influence in the royal court.
Not bad at all, but what about the people who messed up or, betrayed Erakel?
Well, Erakel's merciful, but betrayal is serious.
Yeah.
They could be exiled, imprisoned.
Maybe worse.
Yeah, maybe worse. So, yeah, picking a side, it's not just about politics.
Right. It's your whole future in Norwold.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's flip it. What if Thyatis wins? What happens then?
Thyatis is a powerful empire.
Yeah.
If they win, they'll probably change everything.
What do you mean?
Alakdul, remember him?
Yeah, he's their guy.
He'd probably get rid of anyone who's left that was against them.
Oh, man.
Consolidate power, reshape Norwold the way Thyatis wants it.
So not good for the people who stayed loyal to Erakel.
Not really.
And what about my dominion, all that work I put into it?
It's hard to say. Thyatis might let people keep some control if they surrender, but they'd be under Thyatis's rule.
So basically, they'd be puppets.
Pretty much. They have to pay taxes, provide troops, follow Thyatis's laws.
Their whole lives would change.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a tough choice. Loyalty and maybe prosperity under Erakel.
Or a life under Thyatis.
A choice you could regret for a long time.
Yeah, but that's what's so cool about this deep dive. It makes you think about what you do, what's important to you.
Makes you think about the consequences.
Right, and even when the war's over, win or lose, Norwold's still full of possibilities.
That's true. The source material talks about what happens after the War of the Crown.
Yeah, there could be conflicts between Dominion rulers,
People getting greedy,
alliances changing,
backstabbing.
maybe even new threats.
Like what?
They say the dragons in the Wormsteeth Mountains are waking
Oh,
up,
no.
and if you messed with the crones of Christic, you might have to deal with some crazy prophecy stuff.
So Norwold never really settles down.
Nope, always something new happening.
That's what makes it so interesting, I guess, a world to explore, to use your imagination.
And to carve out your own path amidst all the politics and magic and danger.
Yeah, totally. So this deep dive has really got me thinking about Norwold. I can see myself exploring those forests, dealing with those tricky leaders, maybe even fighting a fire giant.
That's the great thing about these RPGs. They give you the world, but you make the story.
Your choices, your actions, it's all you.
Exactly.
So to wrap things up, I got to ask our listeners, what will your story be in Norwold? Will you be loyal to Alphatia? Will you work for Thyatis? Will you be an explorer looking for treasure? Or something else entirely? The choice is yours.